Yeah. So anyway, Mom, how was the week? Anything going on? As you can see, that's where we're starting the podcast.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Hey, guys. I know we just talked about other stuff before that they won't see on camera, but hey, Mom, how was the week?
It was good. Got a lot of stuff done around the house here. I'm surprised you didn't get a FaceTime from Grandma because she FaceTimed everybody else. Why? Because I dyed her hair today.
Whoa.
So
I'll wait for it.
Call everybody.
I'll wait for it during the podcast. That's when I'm going to get it. That's when she's going to hit me with the with the FaceTime call from upstairs. Yep. Oh, are you doing something with your mother? Yep. Yes, I am. How's Grandma?
I lie, but I love her, but she's the most vain woman I've ever met. After I did her hair, did the roller, she did her makeup. She goes, I should have a portrait done of me, and give it. I swear to God, she goes, and give it to my beau for his 93rd birthday.
Oh,
and he can hang it on the wall next to his. Yes, I'm going to say it, deceased wife.
Wow.
I go, are you vain or what?
I feel like I should almost take that out of the podcast.
Yeah, I think borderline harsh,
Yeah.
Like, sure, Mom, you go ahead. You have that portrait. Who does a portrait in their 90s? Like, Mom, that ship sailed. It should have been done.
That's what I should do. That's where my vainness comes from. I get it from my grandmother.
Yes. Vanity. It's not vanity. Vanity. It's where your vanity comes from. I mean, she's unbelievable. I have to tell your aunt that one. She would so appreciate that. But yes, that's. So she started calling everybody because Michael, I was just saying before how your brothers called me. He goes, your grandma FaceTimed me earlier. I said, I'm sure she did. She had her hair done, so she wants to see everybody. She wants everyone to see her.
I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna do this when she calls. I'm gonna be like, there's something different about you, but I can't tell what it is. She's gonna just really. I guess I'm just wrong.
Yeah. No, you look the same.
Yeah.
It's the same.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, I called Mike yesterday because I was telling him about the Universal plans.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know if I want to go. I was like, Mike, you've ruined the plans. I was like, Mike, you're dead to me. So he said, just in case he can't get off that Friday, he said we could do Saturday, Sunday. We just shoot up Friday night. So, yeah, that's hopefully the plan. I just have to talk to Paris and Ariel about it tonight, hopefully. See if we're heading up with Dearest Eris.
Okay.
Universal Studios content.
And when was that? September what?
That is the weekend of the 20th. So that's the 19th, 20th, and 21st, I believe.
That weekend, okay. Oh, Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah. It was got to be
I don't know the difference.
Well, it's a Jewish holiday. You wouldn't know. But, okay. Just got to get it on my calendar. I don't know why, but I feel like I need to know everybody's stuff because it's all going to impact me at some point.
It's all going to implode. Yeah. It's going to implode like, well, right, then you're here the week after that.
I got to hold this up for our podcasters. So this is my little desk calendar. I'm showing you because I've got all these pencil marks. They're all countdown days to something. It's either a countdown to when Grandma leaves or a countdown to when she goes to the next doctor's. My whole life is like a countdown. Living to, if I make it to October.
See, I haven't graduated to monthly calendars yet. I'm still at my weekly planner.
No, I have to have the whole month in front of me. I got to see what's going on.
I have a good...
But yeah, I have weeks on the side because Grandma had her accident. I'm counting down those weeks. Like, what week are we in? And good thing I do it because she's like, I've been here 3 weeks. Look at her like she's insane. 3 weeks.
3 weeks. She's been there for like... Wait, what? How long has it been? February or March? March, right?
April. She came April 20th.
May, June, July, August. Okay, 4 months. Yeah, Grandma's a little off on that one, huh?
No, she's way off. That's why I got to keep a calendar. She's way off on everything.
Yeah, she'll mess you up. Her dates are so bad, she'll mess you up.
Yeah, she was great about it. She writes little things, like useless notes. She used to write everything down. She still does, but now she'll write things like, I wore a pink shirt today. Things like that on the calendar. On top of, went to the doctor's. But now I'm starting to do it, but I'm doing it more of a countdown. And I laugh because then I started counting down how many actual days Dad has left with her.
Well, Dad keeps telling me how he wants to come down early to prepare Uncle Jerry for the handoff. That's what Dad says. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that's true.
Oh God.
Make sure the package is secure. So I know Dad's gonna do the rounds pretty soon.
I'll be down I'm gonna stay when I drop her off, so I'll be there for a few days. It's not like I won't be screeching the tires in the drive.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, really. Try to get out as fast as possible. Bye.
I got the car running. I'll see you guys.
Yeah. Take your stuff. I don't know. Dad said
not home. I'll just leave her on the front stoop. I'm kidding.
Come home from dinner and she's sitting there. Oh, hello. Irene said.
Yeah.
I don't know when Dad's coming. Dad said he's coming before or after, but I know he's going to Kenny and Mike's the night.
11th.
How long's Dad there for?
Just 4 days. That's why I asked. He's out of there before you go.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because I was like, oh, Dad. Dad.
No, yeah, that's what I was asking. He's out of there the 14th. Okay. Sunday.
Oh, that's the day I show up.
Oh, yeah. You're going up before. Oh, okay, that's fine. Oh, good. Maybe he'll see you.
Yeah, that would be funny.
So, in case anybody wonders, that's when I have 21 days left. I'm in the third week. That's on my notes, scheduling stuff. So, yes.
Huh.
So that's the kind of week I've had, just writing down numbers and keeping track.
Yeah, I have when Brooke gave me this nice chalk monthly planner. Like it's a chalkboard.
She's getting shit out of her house and giving it to you, huh?
Basically, I got a 6 speaker out of her though. I got a good speaker for my kitchen. So thanks, you idiot. Thanks, Brooke. No, but she moved out yesterday, so it's a little lonely here. You know, I don't have my walking buddy.
Good that she's done and she got all her stuff out. That's painful process.
Yeah, it was just everything in boxes. But today they're doing their shopping. They got this new couch. The first thing I said to Brooke, I was like, "Don't let the dogs on that. Do not let the dogs on that couch." But yeah, so
I remember going to a party at Michael's. It was one of those 8th grade parties for Mike and his class. We went to the Shannon's house. They have a beautiful home in Burnsville, right? Everything is white, though. The kitchen's white. The living room's white. The entrance, the dining room, and it's beautiful. All professionally done, everything else. But they had a doodle. I think it's a sibling of the Howley's doodle at the time. Yeah?
I remember that.
But the doodle had a collar on. I'm like, what's with the collar? Come to find out, they have like a magic fence for their living room, and the doodle gets zapped.
Oh, in the house? Damn. That sucks.
Not allowed in the white living. I'm like, okay, I've heard of the invisible fence outside, but when you got it in your house, God bless you. The doodle's got to learn. You don't go in that beautiful white sofa.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I mean, I always think of Boppy with the chewing the columns of the Ketchum's house. Remember, they used to have these giant columns in their, what was that, like a living room or a family room? And you would see chew marks all on the bottom. You're like, what happened? This little, like, Lassapoo this big was freaking chewing the columns.
Yeah. So I remember Mr. Ketchum came home because he worked away, right? He came home for the weekend. He goes, why could my dog possibly be on antidepressants?
Yeah, they had to put him on Lazapan or whatever it was called.
Whatever it was. He just had this like, never had a dog on antidepressants.
That's a good point. Well, the sad thing, this is like first world problems, right?
Yeah.
The house was so big, the dog could never find anyone, so it always thought it was alone. When in reality, everyone was in its rooms, right? It was so depressed because the house was too big for the dog to find people.
No, it was this crazy Scots woman that was watching him all day.
Yeah. And the second the eyes weren't on, he was in a cage, so.
Yeah. They think the Nazis are tough. Spend some time with
with the Scottish, yeah. Shout out to Mrs. Ketchum, though. Hope she's doing well.
Yes.
Anyway, Mom, we've had a big week of news. This has been a huge week for not political news, but other news. So I don't know where you want to start today.
That fight that you have on there. Now, I saw the headlines for that. I really didn't look at it.
Oh,
Is it that big a deal? I mean,
it's a big deal. We'll go through it. So this is I forgot that we're not doing this live, so I can show my screen. I can show my screen.
Yeah, I'd rather see your articles in my face.
Well, you just click on my face so that you don't see both of us. You just make my face bigger.
Well, now I see the article.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, this is probably going to be the most talked. This is probably our longest segment today. So let's get this one over with. So Rampage Jackson is a legendary UFC fighter. champion, all that stuff, all that good stuff. So he and his son have been getting really famous over the last month on Kick.
Okay.
Right. Just being father-son duo. But let me tell you this, and I think you're the one that actually said this to me, but like when you see, I think it was you that said this, just because my mother's so wise, but you never want to see when a father-son relationship kind of becomes like, oh, my dad's my best friend. You know it's not good. You also just pushed yourself super far to the right. You got to readjust your... Mom, readjust your camera.
Oh, yeah, sorry. My phone's running out of juice.
Get it together.
I'm together.
We're 152 in. Get it together. Or 51, whatever. But so anyway, they've been getting famous on Kick. So here's what happens. Raja... I'm just going to call him Raj or maybe Raja, whatever. I just don't know if it's Raja or Raja. I don't know. But he goes to this WWE promotion, but it's like a low-level promotion, right? So it's not the WWE. And this guy named Psycho Stu is like, let me start something with this kid to build hype for, because you know it's all fake, right? So they're trying to make a storyline. So he smashes a can on his head, Raja's head, and whatever. Then they apologize. Raja shakes hands with them. So then the actual fight happens, right? And Raj is sitting on the sidelines listening to this Kick chat. His dad's not there, right? So all these people, all these losers on Kick, right? The kids that are watching who are probably like 8 years old are saying, I'll pay you if you knock them out. I'll do this, do that. And in wrestling, you're supposed to do something called a receipt. And a receipt in wrestling is like the payback for the show, right? You get the payback, like John Cena gets the payback on the bad guy, right? So Raja does that. He jumps in the ring, does that, knocks the guy unconscious, and he punches this guy in the face 23 times hard, right after he's unconscious. And it takes everyone a while to figure out what's going on because he was supposed to do this receipt, but took it way overboard. So he got 23 punches in before people were like, oh shit, this is like, he's trying to kill this guy, right?
Well, I just have one question before you continue. There's a gentleman standing right next to them in a referee outfit. Is he standing there watching this? He's watching this because none of them know what to do. They're like, wait, is this what it was supposed to happen? Or is this like, because remember, everyone knows this is supposed to happen, but they didn't realize like, this is like how real this was. So all of a sudden, everyone starts getting up to get Raja off. So all the guys that are sleeping on the side who are faking it right for the show, they're like, oh shit. There's this one guy, shout out to him, who was a wrestler in pink. He had pink hair. Luckily, he was able to basically manhandle Raja. Now, remember, Raja is a legitimate, I shouldn't say legitimate, but low-level UFC fighter, like professional fights and everything. He's had 3 fights. So the fact that he was able to keep him, he must have a wrestling background, the guy with the pink hair, because he was able to kind of subdue him. But Raja would have killed that guy if he kept going, right? So Raja flees the scene. Now it's going global. Like his dad seeing it now, like, oh shit, what happened? And so he runs off, and you could tell he's got some serious anger issues that no one's ever addressed, because he's like, I'm tired of people talking shit about me. I'm tired of being this and that. And it's like, oh, whoa, this is one of those people that got famous and didn't know how to deal with it, or things at home are not going the way that people think they are. Did he have a motive? Was there
yeah,
a
because
motive?
the motive was like,
about
it was like, remember that beer can that was broken in his face or whatever for the show? Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
and they made amends afterwards. No, he just like comments from fucking losers on Kick. Let him
mother here.
Yeah, whatever. But all these losers on Kick are telling him to do it, and now he's under indictment for what looks like manslaughter. Luckily, the guy woke up, so that helps. But there was a good chance this guy was not going to wake up. He was in critical condition for days. And then I think yesterday he finally woke up. This was Sunday. So, yeah, the guy's...
Well, sometimes you wonder with these things, like, for instance, when you see the ref standing there. Now, you know, I know these things are somewhat for show. Was there an understanding that, oh, Raj is going to make it look like he's going off, so act like you don't notice?
You're way off on this, Mom. I'm going to stop you right there.
Okay.
If I show you this video, Mom, you'll go, like, within 3 hits, you're going to go, what is going on here? He's trying to kill the guy.
Maybe, right. I mean, I don't know if they told these people that, you know, he might act like it, and all of a sudden you could see that he was but I'm always amazed that these quote unquote professional acting people, that they can't tell with all the people they've been around when it's fake and when
Right.
it's real.
You're supposed to,
It's really
you're supposed
surprising.
to have, well, remember, this isn't the WWE. This is like,
Right,
five friends who tried to put together a WWE thing, right? They
right.
get paid like
Yeah,
maybe $100 a week, maybe, right?
yeah, yeah. Okay.
So we're talking low level.
Yeah. Sad.
So this referee is probably just some guy in the crowd that was like, "Oh, I'll ref or whatever." It's not like this is a
Right.
sanctioned referee. So I mean, it's a tough watch. And
Gotcha.
I watch UFC. Like he was trying to kill that guy. So the guy
Yeah.
had broken, all of his teeth are gone, right?
Oh my
His
God.
jaw, yeah, mom. Like when I say bad, I mean bad. His entire skull is fractured, like multiple fractures,
Oh,
brain
man.
bleed. So luckily the guy ended up waking up. But now the question is, does he press charges? And
Well, he's definitely suing this, whatever this organization is that
yeah,
sponsored this thing.
I don't know how it works. Well, I think Kick is under a lot of heat right now. We'll get into that in a minute. But I mean, this kid Raja ruined his life. The question isn't if he goes to jail. The question is how long he's going to jail for. Because even if the real debate right now isn't, let's say that guy doesn't sue, I think is it the DA or the government actually sues him? I forget what it's called, but
They can prosecute for a crime.
yeah,
It could be a criminal prosecution.
it's
for
attempted
attacking
murder.
somebody,
Yeah,
basically.
it's attempted murder, easily. As I said, when you watch the video, it's attempted murder. There's really no.
Well, yeah, I mean, this individual has to press charges because
Yeah,
if you don't and this person walks, he could do it again.
that's the
You
question.
almost have to just say he could be on the street, not even in a ring, and just decide to
Right.
beat somebody for the hell of it, and you know.
Right. And what's
That's why you first
crazy,
started.
is I think another low-level WWE production or whatever like signed him today because they know they'll get the recognition, right? Oh, Raja's coming back to this organization. It's like, what?
Yeah,
They're trying to piggyback on this horrible situation, right? Because they know it'll bring views, bad publicity or whatever. But this kid, I mean, I have to believe he's gonna do some time. Even if his father, Rampage, settles with this guy for X amount of dollars, there's no the state's probably going to sue. They already put a case together, so it's just a matter of time by this
well,
point.
if the individual doesn't want to press charges, right? If they pay him enough money,
Yeah.
the state may drop the case, right? But you know that depends on how much money, blah blah blah. And meanwhile, it's not just like I said. I don't know who puts this together. If it's Kick, he could sue Kick. Grounds for suing them. Grounds for suing the people involved in this, whatever this thing is.
Yeah, my only problem with that, and that was another one of my articles today, sort of. Kick is just a live streaming service, and everyone's saying, why did they not stop the live stream? It's like, do you think that someone just sits at Kick all day and just checks live streams to see if they should be up or not? Right? There's no, right? It's not like some guy is going to sit there and go, "Oh, this should be terminated right now." And in the moment, it's going to take a couple minutes, if not maybe an hour, before they can figure that out. Unless they're getting reports,
Well,
but
yeah. Well, I don't know. YouTube was able to get a word, and if you said the wrong word, they were all over you within, a short amount of time. So if they really want to do
within
it,
like a day. So that's what I
but
mean.
isn't
It's like,
Kick,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, isn't Kick the one where the person was injured? We talked about it in the last podcast.
So the other
He died?
article that I have, which we'll get into in a second, is now Kick's getting sued for $49 million for that. So
Yeah.
saying that it's Kick's fault. It's like, my only problem with that is, but Kick's not the one telling you, right? It's a live streaming platform that you can use, right? I don't understand why they're liable for someone's stupid actions, right?
Well, first of all, it was an ongoing it was an ongoing feed that this was doing. It
Right.
wasn't a one-off that this just posted. So they were aware that this was going on. And yes, they are responsible. So there are certain things that are not allowed on social media.
Right.
Like you can't technically, I'm not saying they all follow it, and that's where we have these issues sometimes. But you're not allowed to post terrorism. You're not supposed to post beheadings.
Right, but it has to go through a check system live, which isn't a thing. So, like, for instance, Mom, what I mean is, let's say I'm doing a live stream and Kenny punches me in the face. Is it going to stop instantaneously. That's not how that works. It's got to take some time, you know?
No, but they'll take it. Like, they should have to take it down. Right?
Yeah, I don't know
Well,
if it's
once
still
they
up.
post
That's
it,
a
they
good
take it
point.
down.
But
Yeah.
either way, I think the real issue here is that we're getting too many people have become famous for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And we're getting to that
Absolutely.
point where I hope that there's a turning point. But I mean, luckily the burnt peanut's doing well. He has no controversies. You know, the burnt peanut. I like that
Yes,
guy.
the burnt
The
peanut.
burnt peanut. But that's what I mean. These people are getting famous. The only reason I know about this Raja Jackson guy is because one, his dad, and two, because of this. He'll always be known for
Right.
this. He's ruined his life
Right.
and career. So it just sucks because his dad has to, because the streaming's over.
Well,
So
I think, isn't it safe to say we jumped a shark where an individual shoots the CEO of a healthcare company in cold blood, and there's a whole cult society out there
Yeah.
that is making him into a saint?
yeah, like
And
helping
you
them.
wonder, right? And you wonder why, they posted something this past week in social media. An older couple at a restaurant. He had on a red hat. I'm not sure if it was a Trump or MAGA hat. I'm not sure. It might have been, or it might have just been a red hat. While these poor people just sitting there eating their dinner, minding their own business, some woman comes up to them in a green hat, is berating them, calling them all these names. You shouldn't be here, blah, 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 and was going on and on. I saw other customers leave to the point I'm like, where's the manager of this? She turns around and she has a Luigi Mangione shirt. It's got his head as a saint. Okay?
They
That's
want
the
to
guy
do
who
it. They want
murdered
to do
the
it.
CEO.
Yeah, they want to do a documentary on that kid. Like that
Yes.
makes him look good. It's like, what are we doing?
Right. I mean, that's our society now. Remember the individual that choked pulled a knife, the teenager that pulled the knife down in Texas at the football game.
Oh yeah,
And the
yeah.
family did the GoFundMe, and people send them a ton of money.
Yeah, and they've
get
spent
him
it all
off.
on news cars and a house,
Yeah,
and then
and
they're
now
like,
they
oh,
need a
by the way,
government-
yeah, they're like, by the way, we can't afford the lawyer fees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But the fact that people are willing to contribute to that, right? I mean, it goes on and on. Our society is eroding in that sense. And to your point, you never heard of this guy. And now he's got all this attention.
You know,
You'd like to think negative. It should be negative, but who knows?
yeah, exactly. I wonder. I would love to see a poll today on how many people, what percentage of Americans still think that George Floyd is a hero. What do you think that percentage is?
Oh, a ridiculous amount of them.
How pathetic is that? After all the information that we know now, right? They'd
Yeah.
still consider him a hero who died for the country or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I wonder how many people have noticed, the Black Lives Matter movement, the George Floyd, how they were so supportive of that. Do you realize that they finally had in Washington, D.C., several nights with not one person murdered?
yeah.
And statistically, the most people murdered in that city happens to be Black individuals. Where's Black Lives Matters thrilled? They should be thrilled. This should be a model for every city. Black Lives Matter. I haven't heard boo from them.
Yeah.
So people need to keep that in mind. The movement that was so into protecting the Black lives, we finally have they just don't like the individual who did it. That's fine. But even I'm happy. People are alive in Washington, D.C. It's worth it for that. But hey, what do I know, right? So to your point, when you look at the statistics, it makes you wonder sometimes. And when these type of things happen, I don't know. It's just, oh yeah, back to this poor guy.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
this is what I was going to bring up. Kick faces the possible $49 million fine after the Jean Pavilion dies on air. So I didn't think he died on air, right? Did he die on air in the days, even months prior, known as Saffine? I didn't think he died.
I didn't think so either.
No,
I
he
thought
died
it was
in
a
his
couple
sleep the
days
next day.
after being
Yeah.
beaten up.
So, hey, Dextero, what are we doing? You're supposed to be reputable.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is where, kind of going back to what we were talking about before we went off the rails a little bit. I still don't really understand why Kick takes the brunt of this force. I don't understand why they're in trouble for other people's stupid. They just give you the platform, and there's still rules on the platform. If someone breaks the rules, that's not on the platform. That's on the person that breaks the rules.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but here's the thing. You could sue anybody you want to. I could sue you.
Not me.
That's the world we live in.
How could you?
It doesn't mean you have a case, right?
Just because I won't give you the 70% you want, Mom, doesn't mean that you can sue.
Hey, who's got the award? 50 over 50.
Damn it, Jen.
But anyhow, that's
Should've
the
been me.
reality. It's just, if you don't start, it's more of making a point that you bring attention to the fact that this is going on these platforms. And it puts pressure on them as more and more of these things happen to say, yeah, you do have to police these things. You can't just let any nut job go out there, because it's always going to be who could take it further, right? And you're giving them a platform. So there's a responsibility there. You can't just say, all right, here's the camera, I'm walking away, right? You video whatever you want to, but then you make it seem, you make it enticing to them to say, I'm going to give you the camera, but I'm not going to give you the camera next time if it's not something really good, like really sensational. That's the part that's the problem. And I'm not just going to blame them. A lot of times, Chris, I see stuff now on the internet, let alone the AI stuff. I see stuff and I'm like, is this real or is it staged? Right? Is this really like a conservative being attacked?
Are you talking about
friends?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Will Smith AI. Did you see that today?
No, I didn't.
Oh yeah, so he's doing some kind of world tour or something, and they found out that they were using AI for the crowd. So it's like a mix of real people and like an AI crowd. But it's like you really didn't have to do that. But now everyone's like, what? Hey, Will. But that guy, Will Smith, seems like one of those people that's so out of touch. He's just too famous.
I'm sure he's not involved in the everyday promotion of his stuff.
Of course.
Some company does it, and he finds out after the fact. Right. But that's just my point. We're living in a techno world where who can take it further? You show me all the pet stuff, and I find it, 90% of it, I think, is not spontaneous. I think it's staged, but it's made to look spontaneous. Oh, look at my smart dog. He does these funny things. I just happen to catch it with my camera. No.
Well, I will say the AIs are getting a little too good. Right. Like the rabbit one I showed you, the trampoline one.
Oh, yeah.
That everyone fell
for.
One
with the bear, too.
Yeah. So those are getting a little out of hand, too. But anyway, moving on. What do we want to go with? Oh, well, speaking of Kick, because we're on this, one thing I don't understand about Kick is, guys, I've been streaming on Kick for like 5 years now, I would say. Maybe like 4 years. I think only like 2 viewers that I have are not bots. Like it's insane, the bots on there. And I wanted to transfer that into, I don't know what happened. I guess I put it in a different spot. Oh, here it is. Boop. And
I don't think I saw that article that you sent.
Yeah, because I just realized I put it in the wrong spot. But Twitch denies viewership freefall. So Twitch has a botting problem as well. So they were like, oh, we finally have a way to counteract the bots. And they watched their overall Twitch viewership go down drastically. And then today, today they were like, no, it didn't affect us at all. And then in reality, they lost like tens of millions of views.
So they were all bots, basically.
Most of them were bots, that people, It's so easy to do. I wish they gave like an actual number. I saw a couple articles that gave more, like 10 million, 5 million, but oh,
they just said it was down dramatically.
Yeah,
no number.
Yeah. So if this is legit, right? So it would go up and down. So it would go from 3 million to 1 million, and then 3 million to 2. Like the ups and downs were not good. I just burped. Sorry. So as you can see, I was like, but the ups and downs, like those are insane for it to go up and down like that.
Meaning they're not legit.
They're not legit people. No, not even close.
Well, how about the YouTube story I did? Do we need our videos improved? Google is using AI to improve content creators' videos without their consent. They say, well, we sharpen the clothing wrinkles, we smooth the skin textures, warping the ears. I don't even know what that means, warping the ears. Some music video YouTubers noticed it first. They started questioning it. YouTube acknowledged that they tested it on their YouTube shorts. Remember how they pushed the shorts community? Got to build those shorts. And now all of a sudden they're doing some AI stuff to it. YouTube said it uses traditional machine learning to improve the quality. Same thing that you'd have on a smartphone. That's why they're justifying it. But some techie guy in the article was saying, but machine learning is a subset of AI. So it's kind of like baloney, that it's
I
it's
think
basically you do an AI on it.
I think they've been doing this for a while, because sometimes when I look at shorts, like when I do my shorts and I'm about to upload, I feel like it's doing AI as I'm uploading it. Like I look at myself and I'm like, I don't look that good. I'm like, hey, thanks. But so before I even post it, I think it does do some kind of AI stuff. But I also think that it works better when you're actually recording a short on your phone. Like what I do is I just take my clips and upload them rather than doing them straight from my phone. So I don't know. I think it's a mix of YouTube's AI, and then it's also a mix of the Apple photo AI and this and that.
But the reality is, the content creators, they don't necessarily want this. Maybe you're indifferent, but
Make me look better.
But there's the case to be made that this content, that's your creativity. That's what you're trying to present. And maybe you don't want it improved. Maybe you're doing something because you want to highlight or you want it to be realistic. They don't have the right to do that without your consent. And that's the argument the content creators are saying. They have no right to go in there and fix my videos. Back to what you're saying, Christopher, like we were just saying about Kick. Hey, we're just a platform. Well, apparently not with Google. They're going in and they're adjusting the content. See what I mean? Some of these platforms, they blur the lines. It's very easy when something happens on Kick and somebody gets, beaten up to say, hey, we're just the platform. But then other times they're like, hey, we got a right to go in and monitor what you say. What do you do? I get what you're saying about a live feed. That's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes they cross the line a little bit.
The only reason I think that YouTube is doing this, and just because I know some YouTubers who are pretty big, they use AI for almost all of their stuff now anyway. It's like, oh, we might as well add one more. Like I know people that use AI for all of their thumbnails. They don't do any thumbnails themselves. They just throw it into an AI and it's done. They also have an editor now, which is really nice for podcasts, which AI will actually do it for you. So basically what it does simply is, let's say you and I were in the same room. Every time you talk, the AI knows to film you. Every time I talk, it films me. So it goes back and forth, right? So super simple. But it's stuff like that where it's like, why don't we just add another AI to it in post-production, right? Which is what YouTube's trying to do. To your point, we get to that level of, are we just changing wrinkles in a shirt, and are we taking out content and changing it because we didn't like what that person said? Right. So that's where it gets a little dicey, a little.
And we know that they've done that before.
Yeah.
Right? Where they've put
their
own spin on stuff. And I'm looking at it from a creativity point of view. To your point, either you're a platform that lets me post whatever I want to, wrinkles and all, or
within the
it's
terms
a
and
platform
conditions
where I have to follow your rules and regulations, right? And on top of that, without my consent, you're going to go in and tweak it.
Right.
Now, maybe it's not a big deal. Somebody says, I don't care. Just get the wrinkles out of my shirt. But then where does it end? Right? It starts with that. And then when they get their foot in the door, next is, you know what? We're going to take this pancake guy and we're going to move him out completely and just focus on the, like things like that.
Stuff
where
like that. We like his take. We just don't like the person. Let's put another person in and take the content. Now, I don't think that's what they're doing right away, but it's a possibility now that
it's called a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope. They get their foot in the door and now all of a sudden they feel they have the right to do these things. And I'm still looking at it I'm always cynical, but even just from a creativity point of view, what right do you have to go in? Maybe I want to portray my mother with her wrinkles and all on my YouTube channel. Maybe I don't want her, the wrinkles gone and everything else. Will they get to that point?
Who knows? But speaking of AI, Peter Thiel's AI Palantir, is that how you pronounce that? Palantir, is supercharging Trump's lawfare. Go ahead. You're going to have to explain this one to me because I didn't read it.
It's fascinating in that, now this is Daily Beast, so obviously they tend to be anti-anything conservative, MAGA, Trump, whatever. Peter Thiel, as we know, he's the creator of this AI Palantir. It's used by the director of Federal Housing and Finance Agency. His name is Bill Pulte. It's like a very sort of a nothing position in government. So he's responsible for all of the federal agencies that do mortgages and whatnot. Okay, so he's in charge of it. This guy, Bill Pulte, he winds up enlisting Peter Thiel's Palantir they create a crime detection unit, literally called CDU. And what this AI unit does is it will go in, and in a matter of seconds, it can identify fraudulent transactions that would take a human being, months to go through documentation and whatnot.
Right.
Okay.
So it follows a paper trail.
Yeah, sort of. It does even more than that. So the CDU went into the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Those are the two agencies that do mortgages through the government, when the government got involved in issuing mortgages and whatnot to low income and whatever. Okay. It identified basic mortgage fraud. The CDU did it in seconds versus months of research. Okay. So if you heard the story recently, the Lisa Cook. So she's a woman that's involved in the finance mortgage business. She's a I think a Biden or Obama appointee. She's been in the position. Okay. They just identified that she had 2 different properties in 2 different states, and both of those applications, she called them her primary residence. It turns out that one of them might have been a rental unit as well. So that's mortgage fraud. You can't do that.
Whoa.
Okay? The point, what Daily Beast is saying, and I'm not saying they're necessarily wrong, their point is, well, they're using this technology to target people they want to get rid of, right? Now, are they unleashing this on the entire mortgage industry and these people are cropping up because we know them? I don't know. I look at it as, I don't care who you are, right? If you want to start, and in my opinion, if you're a government official and you're representing a mortgage agency, I'm going to check you out first. Guess what?
Yeah.
If you're doing fraud, that sets a very bad example. So I was more interested in the fact that they have this AI. I'm on the fence about AI. When it's used for something like this, great. And I don't mind. Go through everybody in public office, identify the fraud, and make them pay the price, just like the little guy has to. And it's amazing that it can do it so quickly. So that's why I brought it up, because they're, the spin from Daily Beast is, they're using lawfare to target individuals. Well, we know that happens. It happened in the last administration. It's just now at least they're targeting somebody who heads up a mortgage business to get them for mortgage fraud.
Well, Uncle was telling me about NVIDIA just released their Digits, which is like a little project that they've been working on for a few months, which is a personal AI. It's pretty nice. It's like a PC, probably about this big, like probably as big as as big as an iPad, I would say, maybe a little smaller. Right. And I was thinking, we were talking about it before Uncle even sent it to me, but I don't know why the average person would need a personalized AI, except for something like this. But it's like, I couldn't think of any use case for it. Like, the more we get into AI, unless you're a company, all the AIs that everyone uses, like no one I know or anyone is going to have a personal AI, right? That they built and run.
I don't know. Your father asked me recently if I use AI for anything.
Don't worry. Dad asked me that same thing, and I had to explain to him how it worked.
Well, it's a valid question in the sense that, if I was doing a job or education or something in that area where I need a lot of information synthesized quickly, is one thing, but I don't trust it enough to do it. And on top of that, I'm not really in the position where I need AI. I'm still old school. I can think for myself. Right. Maybe I don't think at the level of AI, but I can get through basically what I need to do in the course of a day or find out information. Yeah. Having said that, Chris, I think unfortunately we probably will need it on an individual level because, as your listeners know, I put 0 credence in education, and there's a whole generation of young kids are going to be idiots.
Oh, yeah.
It's sad, but true. I mean, they're literally going to be, they can't critically think. And unless parents intercede or mentors or somebody step in and say, you know what, we got to surpass the school system because it's garbage.
We're getting closer and closer to the movie Idiocracy. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah. Yes.
We're getting closer and closer. But like the only reason, I actually really like Google's AI and how it works because, and this is what I mean in the sense of this is what we, the average people, use it for, not a company. Right. What's cool is you can give Google direct questions and it'll give you the answer right away. So like the example I should have given Dad, but I didn't talk to him, was like, if I said, what was the score of the Lakers versus the Knicks in 1978 in the fourth quarter? It will instantaneously, right? If you look that up before AI, it would give you articles on it. Now it will just straight up compile everything and give you the answer instantly. It was 42 to 61, right? So
Right.
it's stuff like that, which is very basic. The second use case, so the one level higher on the personal level, is any coding, which is what it was originally for. So with ChatGPT, instead of doing your college papers for you, what it was actually designed for was finishing code, right?
Right.
That people couldn't do
Yeah.
and compile it better. So if you were a coder, AI probably is one of the greatest inventions ever until you look at it and go, hey, why do I need this job? When you're just going to take it over in a few years.
And here's another problem though, and here's a simple one like climate change. Okay, we know for a fact that the original models were incorrect because the people who did those models admitted after the fact that the numbers were not correct. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of scientists based their information on that model. They're still fighting it to say, oh no, you're wrong, those models, blah blah blah, even though the original creators said they're wrong. So if I go, let's use this example of AI or your game or whatever. If AI thinks that's the fact and that's what they spew out layer upon layer and decade upon decade, you're making a mess of the facts, and everybody's going to rely on that because that will be the source.
Right. And AI is only, I mean, to your point, it's only compiling what it already knows. So unless someone goes in and says, oh, this information was wrong, if it just goes by all the articles that were written, it's going to, if I were to guess, it's going to go by ratios. So if you have 3 articles that say, oh, global warming numbers were wrong, but you have 100,000 articles that says it was right, it's probably going to choose the 100,000. Yeah.
Right. And that will become acceptable information. That's what I have a problem with. As time goes by, we will rely on the AI information as being the source, right?
Right.
Like when you're a journalist or historian, you learn this when you do your first science or your first history book. They always say, what are the main sources? The number one thing is word of mouth, to talk to the actual person that it happened to, right? Next, it's somebody who talked to somebody that it happened to. Then it's to go back to reference. So there's a whole hierarchy of what's the most legitimate information. And we're even seeing now in journalism where it's supposed to be, go to the source. They're changing the facts from the source. So now you're telling me, well, that's okay. Let's rely on AI. If you don't have some sort of a buffer in there or some sort of, what's the word I need, alley to say, all right, who's going to keep checking the AI to make sure it doesn't manipulate itself or works on? So I still go back to, I get it for processing, for coding, for all that. I'm just not comfortable because, I don't consider myself an idiot relying on just one source for information.
Yeah. Why Thiel Fellows win? Is this an additive to what you were just talking? The why Thiel Fellows win?
No, I don't know why Peter Thiel came up this twice, but this was another one I had like at the beginning of the week. The other one I just saw recently. So this is kind of interesting. This goes along the line with what we're just saying. I guess it ties in with the education being crap. So Thiel one day is on an airplane. He's talking to this person about, basically they want to rethink education. Something doesn't make sense here. And, he's a, Stanford grad. He's no idiot, obviously. Right. He and this person, they decide, we're going to give $100,000 to 20 people up to the age of 20 years old to leave school, meaning, obviously a higher ed university, and start a company. Okay? This is their logic. Now, he was vilified by academia for this. Oh, you can't. Why would you do that? Why are you pulling these kids out of Harvard?
Ivy League means nothing anymore.
Right. This is his logic, and it does kind of make sense because remember, he's from Ivy Leagues. So if Harvard, for instance, is so great and, it has these features that should be replicated, why isn't it? Why aren't there more Harvards out there if it's so great at churning out intelligence, meaning Ivy Leagues in general, right? And is it really that it's great, or is it because they've created a scarcity or this idea that only certain people can have access to that greatness, which creates demand, right?
Right.
If you cut down on the supply, you create demand. But obviously, if you have a great product, you want to market it to a lot of people. Well, they don't do that at these Ivy Leagues. If anything, they like to funnel supposedly the elites or whatever. Okay. So he creates this foundation. And this foundation has produced unicorns, which are billion-dollar companies. They're doing it at a higher rate than Y Combinator. I had to look that one up. Y Combinator is a company that funds startups, okay? So if you look percentage-wise, they're doing a bigger job of creating these companies than Y Combinator is. The candidates they look for, they don't want Einsteins. They don't want geniuses. That's not what they're looking for. They don't even look at test scores. They want young people who have high creativity and high energy, okay? High agency, they call it, right? So the article's on talks about one of their 1517, which is one of their offshoots, and they started a funding company looking for more people. Okay. What's interesting about it is these young people are doing so well that they didn't necessarily need the education, and they're taking advantage, okay? But it's a small group. It's only 20 people.
Right.
They have access to 20 mentors or however many mentors.
So that was my question.
Yeah, they're motivated by these young people who come in here or come into this get accepted into this program. And it's kind of the opposite of what Ivy League wants you to think. But now it's gaining traction because, at the same time, we are seeing that the education is not what it's cracked up to be, right?
Yeah. What I was going to say is Y Combinator is probably, let's just, I wonder what their credentials are in the sense of who's mentoring them or if they even have mentors. Because I feel like Peter Thiel's mentors are probably going to be 20 of the best mentors, whereas Y Combinator is probably not. So that's why I feel like I would also wonder how much is guided and how much of those mentors is like, we'll give you the 100,000 and then I'll help you with 20% of the company if you give me, or I'll help with the company if you give me 20%. That's where I go.
I think in some of the articles, in the article, they talk about the offshoots. Some of the mentors are people who have gone through this program as well. It's not necessarily from outsiders. So like I've been saying, this 1517 group, they are an offshoot of this. They were involved in the impetus of it, and they're the ones. And what's interesting is they asked in the article, one of the people who joined this startup group, where do you see the future? Where do you see your company in 15 years? And she goes, we're going to start looking at 11-year-olds. So in other words, we want to capture young people, young ones that have this innate ability to say, I really want to start my own whatever business, right? Has nothing to do with education. They don't need the education to do it. Not to say they don't need to learn things to make it happen, but they don't need the traditional. And what Thiel was saying with this other individual, what they were saying is, you're really not getting that individuality. You go to Harvard, you learn from the same teacher, everybody learns the same stuff, the same. Why would you think people are going to be creative and different, right? And he uses Harvard as an example, obviously, because same thing with other schools. So they're just trying to tap into something. And I think it's true. I mean, I've always felt that education is supposed to make you more well-rounded. It's not supposed to crush your creativity. And it's supposed to help.
Well, when you have $200,000 worth of debt, it does kind of crush your creativity, right? Yeah.
Right. So instead of pouring $90,000 a year into these schools, they're getting $100,000 to go start a business with a certain amount of help. But guess what?
Still,
universities were supposed to help you also, right? Career planning and placement. So it's the same concept. He's just reversing it. He's saying, I'm going to give you the money now and do it without the degree. And we're going to help you do it now. Well, academia doesn't want that. They want you thinking, well, you have to go to Harvard Business School if you're going to succeed at that level. And that's not true anymore. Obviously, they don't like that concept, right? Because now you're also losing the panache of saying, well, I went to Harvard, I went to Stanford. People don't care about that as much anymore, right?
Right.
It's still open doors because it's a club, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting the education. And they're identifying individuals. So just so you know, they received in their first year 400 applicants for this program for 20 spots. Wow. And just a few years ago, they had 80,000. Okay? Wow. So there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there, a lot of young people with ideas. It doesn't mean they all got spots.
Or how many of them just want the $100,000?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But that's on them, meaning the ones who are doing the vetting,
right? To
identify those 20 people, right, that are not there for the 100,000.
Exactly. What else do we have, Mom?
I think my only other one was to talk about the shooter.
Yeah, I don't know if I even want to talk about this guy. I don't even want to bring attention to him, but...
I don't want to bring attention to the guy, but having said this, there's a lot more stuff that keeps coming out about the situation. And I will say this, it's a horrific thing that happened. As a parent who's had kids in that exact same situation, it's heartbreaking. The whole thing's a shit show from the beginning to end.
I want to show this guy's face.
But one thing that keeps coming out, that we've talked about this with the whole gun issue, and I'm glad to see
it's time to start talking about the SSRIs and the trans community.
More and more is coming out, and now out of the mouths of this individual who is saying, I didn't want to do this. I don't want to be this person. Now, obviously, a lot of issues with this individual.
This guy, I saw a video of all the weapons he had in all the gun magazines that had everything written on it. I was like, I was like, what the? That had top 10 shittiest parents on the planet probably to give him all that weaponry and just be like, he'll be fine.
No, he's an adult. He's not a child.
Apparently his parents, but apparently his parents were the ones that got him all those weapons.
I don't know that. I have not seen that.
Okay.
I have not seen that. I know the mother is being cagey. She had worked in the school as a secretary. He graduated from that school.
Oh, I heard she was a
My
teacher.
point is, I'm not even talking about the criminality here. I mean, we obviously, like I said, it's a shit show. You got Democrats out there. Their first reaction is, don't make fun of transgender people. And meanwhile, two little children are dead.
Yeah, it's insane that we're like, I mean, again, if someone's saying that guns are the issue after this, it just kind of goes to show that you're kind of a moron. Like, go watch that video and tell me if it's the guns that's the problem, as he's writing shit on magazines.
And that's what I'm saying. It's becoming more and more. I don't know how anti-gun people are going to be able to keep up the charade anymore when you don't address the problem. You have the most gun control rules in a state like Minnesota with Tim Walz, okay? Now it's, we got to get rid of the AR-15s, the assault weapons. In the real world, I'd say you're absolutely right. But as we were just saying, like with social media and whatnot, if you give them an inch, it's called the slippery slope, right?
Yeah.
The AR-15 didn't kill those kids. It's the person who was holding it. We have to address what's going on mentally with individuals in this country, because guns have been around forever. Kids used to take them to school for shooting practice when I was little. It was part of, not home ec, but whatever, Camper's Day. I forget what they called it, but things they did at school. Numerous studies point to a link between transgenderism and mental illness, okay? It's always been a mental illness.
Yeah.
They just put a spin on it like it's wonderful, it's great, it's all these things. Add to that, you're putting medications in these individuals to fortify what they're doing, and they don't know what these things do to them. And we're not just talking trans people. I don't care what his patient's issue was. Whatever he was on needs to be addressed. 39% of LGBTQ plus seriously have considered suicide in the last year, including 46% of trans and non-binary.
I have this debate with so many people, and then they literally can't explain it. If you ever had 40%, I think it used to be higher. I think it was like 59%, like within 5 years. Someone fact check me on that. But if you had that big of a population of people, whether it's black, Asian, white, if you had a 40% suicide or suicide thought rate. Oh, hold on. I think the statistic I saw was 59 or 56% of people who actually do the surgery end up committing suicide. That was a couple years ago, like within 5.
It seems high, but I know it's
insane,
up,
right?
Yeah.
Let's say it's 40%. If you took a population of people of any type and saw that 40% of them are committing suicide, would your answer be, okay, and then just continue your day? Or would you probably look into why 40% of a group of people are killing themselves?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? When you bring that statistic to people, they go, like, just that thought process. Let's say 30%. Even 10% is high for a group of people to commit suicide. You'd look into it. Right?
Absolutely. And it's bad enough they're killing themselves, but they're taking other people with them. Yeah. And now they're taking innocent children. Okay? And I know we did this at the podcast a while ago. There's a woman in Connecticut who is saying, we're the doctors who prescribe these medications. They should be held accountable. They're giving young people these harsh drugs, and then they walk away. They write the prescription. And these individuals go and they mow down other people. They go to jail. Their parents get vilified. People are suffering. And meanwhile, the American psychiatric community turns their head like, not my problem.
Yeah, it's crazy.
When do they start looking in the mirror and saying, what are we doing here? Okay, I'm making tons of money off of the pharmaceutical industry, but meanwhile, people are dying. And we're wasting time and energy talking about these freaking guns. That's not the problem. Guns have been around forever. Pharmaceuticals have not been.
Yeah. So,
hopefully, if something good comes out of this horrific experience before another one happens and another one and another one, because apparently there were 4 shootings the same week in Minneapolis. 4 shootings. This was the one, obviously, that got the most attention. But having said that, if nothing comes out of it, I hope they really, and I see the tide turning. More and more people are saying, you know what, I was anti-gun for so long, but still it keeps happening. We got to change the stupidity here. We're looking at the wrong thing.
It's tough to transition out of that one. Speaking of shitty people, did you watch any of the Ghislane Maxwell interview transcripts, or did you look at them?
I saw some of the headlines, like, I don't think he killed himself, and I never saw Trump do anything
I also didn't, it's 330 pages. It's a lot. Like, it's the full, it was 2 days of interviews of, like, questions.
Wow.
Good for her for getting through it. But it basically makes Trump look pretty good in the sense of, oh, every time I was with him, he was with a gentleman. But everyone brings up a good point. Why would we trust the words of a lady that's trying to get a plea deal?
Exactly, yeah.
Seen guilty, right? And is trying to bring her sentence down.
Right.
And,
or a pardon.
Or something. Yeah, it's like, it just seems like we could have gotten so much good information out of this. And like, she talked about how he was such a nice guy and all this stuff. And then she talks about, like, Prince Charles, who we know was on there doing some sketchy shit.
Andrew.
They're all the same.
No.
Prince Andrew,
Charles
sorry.
Is the king. He's King Charles. Yeah, sorry. His brother.
Yeah, he was probably there too. I can't keep. When it comes to this, I can't be saying that. But Prince Andrew, who we know was on that island and was, I think he was. Did he go to court for that or something? I forget what it was. I feel like he did.
Virginia Guffey, the one who just died recently, she's the one that brought the case against him and Prince Andrew, she claims. So her memoir posthumously is coming out, I think this week or next week. And in it, she names names and puts all the information down for anybody to read. And apparently Prince Andrew's name is all over it. Having said that, I mean, everyone makes a big deal out of him because, he's royalty and everybody knows him. There's many others, right? Well, probably more powerful than he is.
Yeah, I know this week, one of the princes of Wales, I think it was, he
so off.
Was I wrong?
No, it's like Norway.
One
of
those.
Country.
They're all the same. If it's not America, who gives a shit? They're all loser countries. I said it.
Oh my god.
But right, you saw that he has like 32 accounts of
rape. Yeah.
Yeah, like terrible things.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the Ghislane Maxwell stuff. She was saying like, "Oh, I never saw Prince Andrew do anything." It's like, well, then we know he did stuff, so how can we trust you on the Trump stuff, right? So I just felt like it was such a waste of time.
And remember, she's British. She's not American.
Right.
Her father's a very wealthy British. I don't know if is he a lord? Or maybe he's just a publishing magnate. But the Maxwell family is a very well-known family in the UK. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know if he's in Parliament or whatever, but a big business or whatever. So, she has a different spin on it when she talks about Prince Andrew than you and me, because we're Americans. Fair. With her, that's her.
Is her father still alive?
Monarchy. I don't know if her father's still alive. It was a very odd family.
Yeah, because I feel like we would have been hearing about him.
Yeah, he might be dead. But yeah, so she's not, some scruffy thing that he found on the side of the road. She had contacts in the UK.
Oh, Robert Maxwell, maybe?
I believe so, yes. Was he a publishing magnate or something? I forget what he was. But yeah, another, what's the word I'm looking for? Aristocratic, overly self-important family that, I don't know, was she bored or what? Got involved with this guy. She had money, didn't have to do it. Now she finds herself in prison, and, it's, You can look at it both ways. Maybe she doesn't. She has nothing to lose. She doesn't care. She'll be honest.
Wow.
You know.
How'd this guy end up marrying Ghislane Maxwell? Who is he?
I have no idea. I don't really know that much of her story. I just knew that she was kind of from sort of flaky family from the UK and came from money, which is another reason why you scratch your head saying, why would she involve herself? It gets to the point where some of these individuals have so much in their life that it's empty and they look for the thrill of something. To be involved with an Epstein makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
She didn't need to be involved with this guy. She didn't need to do these things. Was it just for the thrill of it? Because she knew it was wrong? I don't know.
Let me tell you, though. Talk about a ride or die husband. I didn't realize he's still married to her since 2016. They're still married.
Yeah, he's living off her money and having the good life out of prison.
Yeah, probably.
Well, she's spending her time behind bars.
Oh, and I'm going to start buying some Lambos with the money that you still have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it did get her an upgrade in the prison. I think she got moved to a nicer prison. She's with the one from the blonde chick from California who did the fraud. What was it called? Thermosol. She bilked people out of hundreds of millions of dollars with a fake company. Oh yeah, she had all these high-level people investing in a company. It was all fraud. She's now in prison out there. I can't think of it. Elizabeth Holmes, was that her name?
Oh, are you talking about like the 23andMe? She was the one that did the...
It wasn't that. It was called Thimerosal or some blood testing.
Yes.
That was a total fraud.
Yeah, she like faked her voice too, remember?
Yeah, there she is. Yeah, another intelligent wackadoodle.
Theranos.
Theranos, thank you. She's now in that. I think they're in the same prison. Her and Ghislane.
Yeah. Look at that face. That's the crazy eyes face.
Yeah, she's. I mean, one of her executives, I think, killed himself over it when they started to identify the fraud. And this one, like had the gall. She's like appealing and trying to say she didn't do it. Well, she got convicted and she started doing her time. Then she tried to get out because she was pregnant. So anyhow, they must be having a field day together, those two in the same prison.
Yeah. Jeez. What else could we get into? I guess speaking of billionaires and millionaires, Elon Musk backs away from his third-party plans after a rift with Trump. Have you seen this? He's trying to kind of weasel his way back in.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard him say, no, that's not true with the third-party thing. I don't know.
I know he was trying to make the third party, and then it just didn't work because he tried to call it like the Freedom Party, and you're not allowed to do that. Or like the American Party, and you can't do that. So
last I heard, he's been focusing on the UK because the UK's got some serious problems. They're kind of where we were before Trump was elected. So, you got a civil war brewing over there. And to their credit, the British people aren't going to take it anymore.
Well,
they are fed up.
They're
going to have a problem.
They're putting the flags all over the place. Have you been seeing that? It seems like the conservatives are really rising up. So I think, again, this is what happens when you allow mass migration into a country and then you get overrun. That's literally what you're witnessing.
Yes.
Like anyone who's
open their free speech.
Yeah, anyone who's open. It's kind of fantastic in the sense of anyone who brings up open borders. I'm just going to say, go look up what's going on in England, and I think it'll change your mind real fucking fast.
Yeah.
So,
yes, and not even there. It's happening in France. It's happening in Germany. I mean, it's even worse in Germany. But the point is, the citizens are rising up. Similar to what's going on here, that's, we go back to the society eroding and whatnot. It's just mind-boggling. Every news person will say, the Democrats, they're crazy. The same thing over in the UK. Stop denying what the people of the country want. They're like saying, no, don't look at the UK people that want their country back. Focus on what I'm telling you because they're wrong. No, the majority of the people in this country want immigration control. Same thing over there. But yet the leaders refuse to accept that. They're doing everything in their power to say no. That's how you get a civil war, when you deny certain truths that the people are trying to impress upon you, and then you have division in a country.
Yeah.
So now you have like Nigel Farage. I think his party is growing, and Musk, I think, was involved. He didn't like Nigel Farage because Musk seems to be pro-immigrant, not illegal.
Yeah.
But I think he bristles
he wasn't an immigrant, so.
Right. I think he bristles a little bit if you go too far. But, like if you say, I want a moratorium on immigration, which a lot of the citizens in the country want us to put a hold on it. So you get the ones out who aren't supposed to be here. Let's not let anybody in. Well, somebody like Musk doesn't like that. He doesn't like the idea of stopping all immigration. And I might be paraphrasing here. But so now he's turned his attention to the UK because it's a hot issue over there. They need their Trump. Trump is very popular in the UK, by the way.
He's up for a Nobel Peace Prize right now with the monks. Did you see that?
Oh my God.
He's up for like a legitimate Nobel Peace Prize, and they think that if like he'll definitely get it if he finishes the Russian Ukraine peace deal. Like if he does that, he gets it. Which I think, doesn't he already have one? Right? Didn't he get one the last
No,
two?
okay. No. Obama got one, and even some of the Obama supporters were under their breath going like, what are they giving him one for? Trump has legitimately earned it with ending the 35-year war in Rwanda that we didn't even know about.
Yeah.
Going on for 35 years. Those people were praising him for finally ending it. Then there was the Thailand and Indonesia ended a war over there. Those people are claiming he deserves the Peace Prize. So the man is just incredible in what he's doing. Even if you can't stand him, he's ending conflicts, He totally kneecapped Iran. They're not on the march. They may be brewing over there, and I'm not saying the Middle East is good, but totally kneecapped them to the point where at least they came to the table and tried to negotiate.
That one's so much harder just because, I mean, even today I think they did yesterday they did another bombing on Gaza. So the Israelis. So there's really no, I don't know what you do with that. We're going to be hearing about that for the next 2-3 years, I think. I don't think that's going to slow up anytime soon.
Because I've heard about it for 30 years.
Yeah. So it's never going to end.
It's been going on forever and ever. But these other wars were not directly involved. And then to some extent, I do agree with Trump. You can keep going, Russia and Ukraine. Keep murdering 1 million people every year. You're going to eventually run out of people. We could walk away. We got plenty of things to work on in our country. We're just not going to give you money anymore. I'll sell you arms, but you got to pay for them. So that's oftentimes the best motivator to end these wars. But he's right. We didn't care. I didn't even know about Rwanda, this other country. And here I'm finding out he ended a 35-year war over a weekend. That tells you, right, that somebody finally got serious and literally said this has to stop, as opposed to others who probably said, how do I make money out of this? Right? Yeah. How do I keep this going, look at the blind eye and make some money out of it or use it to my advantage? What advantage did Trump want from a war in Rwanda?
Yeah. What was the war over? Like, who has the most spears? Like, what happens in Rwanda?
I think
throwing rocks at each other? Oh.
Yeah, it was territorial. Remember, these are all tribes.
Yeah.
Middle East, they're all tribe-based, right? So you're dealing with tribes that have been
Their deadliest weapon's a slingshot. Like.
No, I mean, they're not that backwards. But still, I mean, it's just, I give credit to finally having a leader in a first world country who really doesn't give a damn or is not looking for what's in it for me, in the sense that if it benefits people, because it wasn't doing anything to me with Rwanda, that was like, all right, I'll do that this weekend. I got nothing to do today. Let me end a war in Rwanda.
Yeah.
That's somebody you should give a Nobel Peace Prize to, not somebody who looks good in a suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're saying Musk is making his way back because he wants to do good with JD Vance for when he runs.
Okay.
Like, that's really the only reason, which is honestly probably a fair reason. So that's the thought process.
I know. I think the brouhaha between Musk and Trump, I think it's died down. I don't want to say Trump's a bigger man because we know he can be a little bit churlish. I do literally think he's got too much on his plate to worry about Elon Musk in the sense that, or the ego.
Well, did you see what happened? Did you see what happened today where the White House announced that they cleared Trump's schedule and they thought he was dead?
I'm sorry, what happened with the schedule?
Oh, they cleared Trump's schedule today, like all of his meetings or something. And one of someone in Brazil was telling me, someone in Brazil was saying that, okay, let me put this. And news in Brazil was saying that Trump was dead. So that's literally been a news headline in Brazil now. When in reality, they just cleared his schedule because he wanted to golf today. Right? God. So that's how out of the loop Brazil is.
Oh, they do it intentionally because they hate Trump.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Lula was posting some fake stuff to try and get some people behind him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a given. All these groups, I mean, they hate the guy. They'll use social media any way they can.
Yeah.
They badmouth him all the time. But whatever. I care that much about what Brazil thinks about us. What are we doing in the sense that of all the things? I'm not looking to antagonize them, but they act like they're a thorn in my side. It's like the Rwanda people.
Yeah,
Didn't know about it, right?
But because their economy, this kind of goes to show you why there's such a big gap in all the countries. Like top 10 countries economically, obviously you have China, US, Russia. The gap between 4 and 5 is pretty big. So Brazil, even though it's still technically like a top 10 because of their big economy crash 2 years ago or a year ago, right? Their dollar's been going down like crazy. I think they're borderline a second world country now. I think they're kind of getting to that point.
Well, it's like anything else. They don't listen to the people.
Yeah.
The socialists came in, you start rigging elections, you start denying what the people want. And, a good portion of people, they just live in their lives, right? They just want to get through their day. They go do their little their food cart, make some money, feed their kids, send them to school and go home. And that's true of Americans too. Not everybody's involved in all the economic stuff, but then slowly you get individuals that come in and they take elections and there's question marks and people get concerned and blah, 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 blah.
Hell, Lula put his political opponent, Bolsonaro, under house arrest so that he couldn't run. It's like, okay, what are we doing? Now, I hear he wasn't a great guy either, but it seems like he was the lesser of the two evils.
Well, he wasn't socialist.
Yeah.
He wasn't a socialist. But the same thing happened in France. They threw Le Pen. She was winning. She's a conservative.
That was a weird one. Where overnight,
They did the same thing in, was it Hungary? Same thing. They imprisoned the guy who was winning the polls. This is what happens. They tried it here with our current president. And he did his best to fight back. And that's why, we had just a string of hope left because the majority of the people Americans see through bullshit. We really do.
Yeah.
And I give credit to these other countries, like we said about the UK. It made me feel good. And you know why? And this is the irony. Because I like diversification. Believe it or not, I like the UK to be UK. I like France to be French. I don't want it mixed with Middle Easterners and whatnot. Because you lose diversity with that. That's the irony. Now, France, UK, there's no difference to me anymore. It's just one big blob in Europe.
Yeah.
It's losing its distinction. And that's the irony when they say, oh, you got to be diversified. You got to let all the immigrants in. No, that's the opposite of diversity. America is diverse. That is true. We're made up of all different nationalities. But we have a common thread, right? We as Americans, I'm not going to bore people with that, but we have a common thread. Just like French people are French for a reason.
Right.
And you can have foreigners come in, but if you flood it with people that don't assimilate, you lose your diversity. You just become a blob of people. Or you change it into the Middle East. Well, I don't need the Middle East in France. If I want to go to the Middle East culture, I'll go to the Middle East. So in my opinion, it doesn't help for diversity. If anything, it squashes it ultimately.
But let me tell you, if it wasn't for the Middle Eastern people in England, I don't think there would be any food resources in England, right? I don't think, right? Aren't like the top restaurants all Indian owned? Or Mid Eastern in England? They can't make shit.
Because they brought so many foreigners in, and they keep flooding them in. They bring them in boats.
I always thought it was just because the British have no good food.
Well, they're not known for their food.
Yeah.
I mean, they have their own set fish and chips and whatnot, and I don't know enough about their cultural to say that.
Here's my beans and bread.
Yeah.
My beans and bread.
Yeah. Well, somebody went on a whole thing about Mexican food.
Right.
Like,
how
delicious. Many ways could you take a tortilla, turn it into something?
But it works every time. I could eat Mexican food all day, every day. With the carnitas, the posale.
Like a taco, a burrito, or a nacho. It's all
they're doing
the same
the tortilla. Hold on. I'm going to stop everyone right there. The tortilla chip is the greatest thing the Mexicans have ever made. That thing is delicious. Salted, unsalted. Without them, we wouldn't have Taco Bell, and that would be a sin. That would be a dishonor to the world. But anyway, speaking of our next president, Mother.
Who's that?
Dwayne the
Oh,
Did you see this? How crazy wasn't
I saw it from you.
Okay. Dwayne the Rock Johnson leads over Kamala Harris as the 2028 presidential hopeful on Polymarket. Do you know what Polymarket is, Mom?
I think I've heard it before.
Polymarket, Johnny put everyone on this. Luckily, your son's not a degenerate gambler, but that's how you create degenerate gamblers. Polymarket allows you to bet on anything. So I can bet whether it's going to rain tomorrow, and I can put money down. Like, it's like the ultimate gambling issue. You know, like people betting on like just heads or tails, like shit like that. So
the one thing I say about this, when I look at it, like, you know, a rock could beat Kamala Harris right now. I said that wrong because they're saying the rock. A piece of paper could beat her right now.
Right.
Nobody thinks that Kamala Harris is going to run again. Even she knows she's never running again. So this is no like attaboy to Dwayne.
Just to show you how bad it is, though, right? So. Number 20. So if I go to Polymarket right now, Polymarket, I think it's the first thing. Yeah, presidential nominee, right? So it goes literally. This is how down bad the Democrats are, right? Gavin Newsom's at 32% chance of winning the Democrat. AOC, Pete Buttigieg is 7, and literally within an hour. So Dwayne the Rock Johnson was tied with Pete.
Yeah.
Right, at that point. That's how bad the Democratic Party is. But you want to know what the real kicker is, Mama? This is how bad that they were doing. On Polymarket earlier this week, they said that there was a higher chance of Trump getting a third term than Gavin Newsom winning. How crazy is that?
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
And people will get mad like, oh, you can't run. Yeah, of course you can't. But that's just how bad, that's just how in shambles the Democratic Party is.
I know.
So...
How many times have we said it? The party's dead. I mean, I'm waiting for that one smart person, probably attractive and young, not necessarily female, although it wouldn't hurt, to wise up and say, you know what, I could own this.
Right.
I just got to get my shit together here and go middle of the road. I could own this, and I could possibly beat this guy just because people might, I'll get enough. But as of right now, the current president is doing everything that he said he was going to do and what people voted for.
Right.
And I will tell you, if anything, the Democratic Party
Hold on.
is
I got to stop you there, though. That's not true because he didn't, right? The
Epstein
files. That's always going to be the biggest knock on him.
And they'll bring that up all the time. Now they're trying to hit him with the vaccine stuff because Kennedy is backing off. The CDC is backing off on the vaccine. Oh, that was his wonder drug, remember? So they're trying to hit him with that. Okay.
Really?
But having said that, lost my train of thought. Oh, shoot. You got me off my train of thought. Anyhow, He was leading. He is doing what the American people asked him to do. If he stays the course, right, the next person should be able to fill right into that slot because the Democratic Party, they don't have any traction to say. And that's what you're seeing. They're defending illegals.
I'm surprised they haven't thrown Fetterman in there. I know at least he's somewhat
I don't think they'd do it, but they're defending.
Compared to Newsom?
Homeless people. They're defending a transgender who they're anti-prayer. Yeah. They're they're doing, it's almost as though Trump is like, not even trying, and he's turning them into little puppets. They're doing exactly what they shouldn't do.
He doesn't have to try because everything that they throw at him, they expect him to take the bait and it fails, right? So him doing nothing causes them to be in a spiral and then like if Gavin Newsom is your number one, we got problems.
No, it's not even a bait. All Trump is doing is following the mandate, what he said he was going to do. And I think unwittingly, I don't even think he believed the Democrats would be this pathetic to be defending illegals who kill people. Think about that freaking guy from Maryland. Do you know they're still wasting time on that individual?
Is that the M13 guy?
Yeah. Yeah. The Abrigo guy.
Crazy.
Now he wants to sue I mean, regardless of how you feel about this guy, the tax dollar is wasted on one individual because the Democrats are keeping this alive. That's their campaign platform. They're in general, I don't know who's advising them, but even Carville, the nut job from that comes on every now and then. Even he's like, please stop this. It's insanity. You're not going to win.
They keep going, and then they run themselves dry, and then they go, man, Trump brought us dry. Right.
Look at your leaders. I mean, I don't particularly care for Bill Clinton, but he was a smart guy. Gavin Newsom, AOC.
AOC, I don't know how she's up there. The only reason that's an 8% is because that are guys that think she's attractive. That is it. That lady is dumber than a bag of rocks. Gavin Newsom, on the other hand, okay, good-looking dude, very good at speaking, but he will always be known as the guy that destroyed California. He's the reason every celebrity left that state. He's the reason why no one wants to be there anymore. All JD Vance has... Oh, God.
You also see a little bit of pushback, and he crumbles. Every headline I saw this week with Gavin Newsom was, he's broken. He can't even speak. He went on. Somebody asked him a simple question about crime in the state. He had to end the press conference because he didn't have an answer for them.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Look at their top tier candidates. They're not bright. It's another Kamala Harris.
No, that's all he is.
I'd be concerned if you had another Bill Clinton.
Here's the
right guy. Yeah,
here's
may not have the best moral compass.
The best part about Gavin Newsom is he's doing all these interviews that don't really talk about his policies. It's just, I'm one of the cool guys. I'm one of the bros. That's all his interviews are. It's like, that's not going to win you an election, dude. How about someone ask him about when you said, hey, California has to stop using water, and then you used all the water to take care of your vineyard. Remember that?
Right.
So that you can start selling wine to people and make a profit.
But you will see if he winds up being the candidate. And it'll be a test now as we're 4 years further into social media versus mainstream media. As you're seeing already, there is no mention on mainstream media about these explosive things coming out from DNI Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, explosive. People around the world think it's explosive compared to because no one's talking about it. You're never going to hear about Gavin Newsom's vineyard when he runs for office, Chris. No. You're never going to hear anything about it. You're never going to see those fires. It'll be on conservative sites that are going to try and basically preach to the choir that this is the guy.
We don't even need that. We just need all the famous podcasters who lived in California, who got out of California because of Gavin Newsom. The second Rogan's going to bring down Newsom the second he starts running. That without a question. Tim Dillon's going to do the same thing. Who else is over there? I mean, Fighting the Kid easily, even though they don't have as big of a pull, but you know what I mean. Like all the podcasters that are famous now are going to put him in the dirt real fast. They have a better chance at promoting AOC than Gavin Newsom at this point.
Well, and as an aside, not to harp on just Gavin Newsom, but he basically admitted, was it yesterday, that illegals vote in our elections. Because his comment was, what's next? Are the ICE people going to hang out at our polling station and try and influence the election? Well, why would you care if ICE people are at the polling places? I don't care if they're there because I'm a citizen.
Unless you have, okay.
Okay? So he's basically reinforcing what we already know. If you get these people out of our country, which they should be regardless of voting, not voting, I don't think the Democrats have a chance of winning an election for the next 20 years.
Oh.
Any Democrat, anywhere. If we had free and fair elections with a small percentage, you're always going to have some corruption. I think our country would finally look, which we saw in this last election, it's finally going to look a lot different. And I think it's going to shock a lot of liberals out there who think they're turning the tide. This is not a liberal country. It's a conservative country. Not to say that liberals aren't welcome and blah, blah, blah. They're there and they have their point. It's just the few mouths think that they're dominating running things. That's not true. Especially, I think that's why it's really telling if people saw what this nation is. If we really saw a legitimate election, fingerprints or no more mail-in ballots crap. Get in line, cast your vote. I think it would be a real wake-up call, especially with younger people. They think all young people are liberals. I don't think they are. I think even younger than you.
Yeah, I mean, I think more people are down the middle, or probably I wouldn't say.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Down the middle, not extremists. Let everybody in and flood the system because they've seen that doesn't work. It sounded great when they were younger, but now when they're not getting a job and they're finding out that other people are taking their jobs.
Let me tell you this: I don't want to start a debate here. I don't want to bring it up a topic, but all the liberal, I don't know any liberal guys. I really don't. right? Most
Okay.
every guy I meet is usually pretty conservative. Am I in North Carolina? Yeah. But even back home, most people were pro-Trump. All the women I know that are not pro-Trump or like very liberal, really, and not a single one of them, except for one, has good relationships with their parents. Right? Okay. And the one that I do know has a good relationship with their parents, it's only with the mom. Dad's out of the picture. I'm just saying there's got to be studies on that. There has to be.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where, and also every time I talk to them, and unfortunately that's just because, like my old YMCA, I could talk with people who are liberal and we can joke around and actually have a serious conversation. Usually it's down here with kids my age, it's I don't like him because he's the bad man. There's no reason. It's just I don't like him because he's bad man and I don't like what he says. I'm like, okay, well can you give me
statistically,
I need a conversation.
As a group, so a certain age group of women who tend to lean a certain way liberally have the greatest amount of depression.
Oh yeah, that's probably true. I bet if I were to ask some of my female friends down here that do go very left leaning, they're probably on something.
And I don't know. I'm not saying it's because they're liberal they're depressed. I'm not saying that. Oh. But if you have family strife that even if you created, or maybe your parents are so conservative they don't even talk to you because you're liberal, I don't know. But that will create a certain amount of depression, right? I will say this. I think there were probably more liberal-minded, and I don't mean soy boys. I mean liberal-minded young men. But their experience the last, I'm going to say in your lifetime, because I watched it happen as you guys were growing up in subtle ways. Let the girls decide where we go out today. Let the girls decide what we're having for lunch. Oh, there's a fight between the boy and the girl. The boy has to apologize. Am I over-exaggerating? Yes. But that builds over time. And unfortunately, studies started to come out by the time you're in high school so we did all these great things for girls, and that's great. But we left the guys behind. Well, those guys grew up. They graduated. They went to college. They were the brunt of every joke. They were the problem, the misogynist and all this stuff. Well, you create an environment where they're going to reject that liberal mentality because they're the reason for all the problems in the world.
Yeah. I think the other big factor is all the political left guys like that Dean Withers and whatever the hell all their names are, right? They all had like these weird falling outs where they would just crash out on stream. Like they would just like have these mental breakdowns, and it was like, oh, these people have like mental issues. So I think that kind of made a lot of the women go, oh, maybe I should stop looking at these liberal guys and go to the other side. Not saying all, and I'm not saying they're bad people. I don't want people to think that we hate liberals. Again, some of my closest friends are very opposite thinking of me, and we have great conversations. It's just I can't stand people that are like, I like or dislike Trump just because he's who he is. Tell me why. Don't give me a conversation, right?
Right. I agree. I have no problem with somebody telling me the things that they do not like about a particular politician or person.
Let me put it this way.
But don't just spout to me things that aren't true.
Like the second someone says to me, well, it's because Trump is racist, I go, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, right? Like there's no evidence of that, right? Trump Enterprise has hired plenty of minorities. So what do you mean racist? Well, he worked for them and he was the big powerful man, so he must be racist. No, he gave them jobs, right? That's what you do. So that's why I can't stand, I can't even have a conversation with you.
Right. And to say, okay, maybe that's true. But are you telling me that there's nobody on the other side of the aisle that didn't work for a company?
Yeah.
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton? Oh, I love her. She's wonderful. Her best friend was the head of the KKK.
Okay. Yeah. I forgot about that. They tried to hide that on the
Byrd. Yeah. He went to their weddings. She has pictures with him. Of course, she didn't see those when she was running for office. But how do you balance that?
Yeah.
Right?
Crazy times, mother. Crazy times.
Right. I don't have a problem with either side saying something, but don't just force. It's hypocrisy to say this person, this person, this person. They may be right about that person. I'm not saying they're wrong, but then you better not be living in a glass house, because don't tell me these other ones you support don't do these things too. So it's got to apply to everybody, and that's where I have the problem with individuals. That's also another reason why as you get older too, Chris, you see, even the great ones, there are people that do great things. Doesn't make them, great people. People are people.
Once
Trump's a person.
Once I was at Scranton watching the party kids that I thought were smart become doctors who I knew would easily kill a patient. That's when I knew not to go with the smart kids.
And it's not even about smart. It's it's just individuals that.
Well, I think what college made me realize was just because you're book smart doesn't mean you're smart. Does that make sense?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So I think it took me till college to realize that. So.
Yeah, I think that if you're going to rely on your smarts to be something special, you better be a freaking genius.
Like if you're 30, if you're 32 and you're still telling me about your grade point average, it's time to grow up.
Right. Absolutely. It's like I'm saying, like we were talking about before with these young people that the Thiel Foundation's finding. Maybe they had great scores, but they didn't even look at that. They didn't look at IQ. They didn't look at any of that stuff. They just want to see that you're creative. They want to see that you're talking about, you believe in what you do. That ain't genius. I mean, that's not somebody who's necessarily could split atoms. They just have a passion for something and they can talk about it and they're intelligent. And their point was, and they can also talk about what they want to do at a level with somebody who's advanced in it and talk eye to eye to them. That's what stood out to them. Didn't mean that they were, genius in everything and that they scored high on everything. So I'm not against, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Obviously, it's fabulous if you have these gifts. But it doesn't mean that you're a better person than other people. We're learning that too. Look at Musk. Everybody idolized Elon Musk, and now you get to know the guy. He's got his faults. He's got his triggers.
Well, just look at
he's not intelligent.
Yeah, I mean, social media brought out the flaws in celebrities, I guess you could say, where you realize like Mark Ruffalo's the biggest moron on the planet. He's the Hulk. No, he's actually a troglodyte.
It's so funny because in the beginning in the entertainment industry, people knew nothing about these celebrities, and they had some pretty raunchy lives. And you never knew that.
Yeah, and look at De Niro. De Niro, basically, he's lucky he's such a famous actor because if he was 30 years younger and he was just starting his career, like he'd be off no one would pay attention to him.
But my point is, like in the old days, going back to the Lucille Ball celebrity days, right, or even before that. They didn't have political opinions. They didn't say anything about politics. They stayed out of it. As a matter of fact, if you were thought to be a communist, they tried to drill you out of Hollywood. That was the whole scandal with Lucille Ball and all those people back then. But it worked both ways. You didn't know their private lives. You didn't know who was cheating on whom. They didn't talk about that. They live a lovely life together.
Then it just talks about the affairs, and it just comes out.
No, and then you never knew that stuff. Now with social media, their whole life is out there. And it's a catch-22 because some of them like it. Right?
Yeah.
That's their PR.
And now you get paid for it.
You get paid for it, but they don't like it when, they only like it when they're promoting something. Right? Then they want their privacy.
Yeah, you saw little Nas X with the walking down the street in his underwear, and now he's under.
God.
Right.
Well, I guess we should also say before we ended about the big engagement this week.
Oh, Travis Kelce and Taylor?
Yes, and I was a little bit indifferent because it's kind of like anticlimactic because I feel like people have talked about this so long. It's like, who cares? They were literally mocking the engagement on social media.
I don't care enough. It just goes to show how people are a little too ingrained in social media. Like people get upset when I don't use social media, which is very strange to me. Like I'll post stuff, but people think that I'm on Instagram all day. I haven't opened Instagram in like at least 2 weeks, probably. And I only use it for reels.
Your 91-year-old grandmother was thrilled. You would have thought that I told her that one of you guys was getting married. Oh, thank God they're getting married.
Yeah.
Thank God. I was hoping that was going to happen. Like it's a big reveal. Guess what, Grandma? Oh my gosh.
And then when we announce our engagements, she's gonna be like, okay.
Yeah, all right. No, she'll have a problem with it. Oh no, I don't like that person. I don't like that person.
Do we want her in the family?
I'm gonna hear about it. Not you guys. It'll be wonderful for you guys. It's gonna be it's not good. It's not good.
Our double-sided grandmother. But all right, Mom. We just did an hour 37. That was one of the longer podcasts we've done in a while.
Covered a lot.
Yeah, it makes up for the last one that we recorded, which was 50 minutes or 58, under an hour. So
that was the live one, wasn't it?
No, I mean the last recorded one.
Oh.
Last one was live, but yeah. So
Well, that's when Grandma needed me more. That was a few weeks ago. Now she's more independent.
Yeah. So, what do I have to promote, guys? Oh, you know what we didn't talk about real fast? You saw Cracker Barrel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they rescinded everything. Yeah, they went back. They couldn't pull off that. They didn't have the balls that American Eagle had. They were like, okay, that just doing
People
like
going back.
Stuff. Yeah, I'm still waiting for my Halo Top ice cream sponsor. I've been trying the new flavors.
Was it good? Did you like it?
I had one last night. They have a. Again, I'm waiting for. Did I just burp on camera?
I did.
Whoa! I've never even seen that in person. In my 30 years, I've never seen my.
Edit that out.
That is staying in. That is staying in, mother. I'm sending that to everyone in our family. That is crazy. That is hilarious.
Go right ahead.
Wow. That's getting clipped. That's going to social media. Holy shit. This is like.
You gotta keep it going.
I'm putting on a soundboard. I'm putting that on my soundboard. But what was I saying? So I had the what was it? It was like a chocolate caramel brownie last night. 460 calories, which is definitely one of their higher ones. 460 is not bad though. Delicious. Right. I was like, whoa.
Careful, I'm gonna burp again.
Halo Top. I'm waiting for my sponsor. I will do a taste test.
I've never heard of them.
I guarantee you'll find it at whatever grocery store you go to. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Halo
32
Top.
grams of protein. 32 grams of protein. So if I had 6 of those, that would be my protein intake.
No. I don't think that's the intention. You're not supposed to have 6 of them.
Okay. Damn. But yeah, so they're delicious. They definitely are as close to real ice cream as possible. It beats the 1,300 calories of Ben & Jerry's that I was eating. So
I did manage to lose a couple pounds, which is pretty amazing considering as I sit here, I've got 2 Ben & Jerry's in the freezer. I've got Grandma's ice cream. I've got tiramisu. I've got chocolate pudding. I've got rice pudding. I've got chocolate chip cookies. Okay. And remember those little pies you buy frozen and you thaw them out? You were eating them like 2 at a clip.
Yeah. This is for good.
All that's in my house right now for my mother. She gets an assortment every night. And the sad part is she acts like she's in the nursing home because I'm like, Mom, what would you like tonight? Oh, what are my choices? I'm going to make a menu and I'm going to hand it to her and say, here's your choice. Well, so I managed to stay away from it.
When I'm like, man, it's time for my cheat dessert, I will say Harris Teeter has a great cheesecake assortment. It's incredible. It's 16 pieces, right? They're small. So it's like a regular size pie, but small. And it's 6 different flavors of cheesecake. You got plain, you got mocha, you got... Mom, we'll get one. We'll get one when you're here. Now, ready? It's only like $16 for the whole thing. So it's like a little under $1 for each cheesecake. We'll send you over.
If I drop Grandma off, I'll squeal the tires, meet at Harris Teeter.
Exactly. When we put her in a... Yeah, exactly.
Put on the Attack of Titans and just plow through
cheesecake. It's so much cheesecake. So, yeah. But okay. So anyway, since we just did that much time, so the only things I have to promote.
I'm still looking forward to that now.
Yeah, and we still got like 4 weeks. We still got a whole nother month.
Calendar.
Yeah, we still got a full Teeter cheesecake. Yeah. Again, it's not the highest end cheesecake. It's not like a Cheesecake Factory cheesecake, but it'll hold you over, and it's a lot. So anyway, so the only things we have to promote is the last week's pod, which was live, but is also on Spotify on Tuesday. And then Wednesday was the cooking show. And then today, Saturday, I posted a video game called You Suck at Football, which was really fun. So go check that out. And then the walkthrough for Wu Chang, which is still going on. And we're slowly plowing through things. We got Silk Song this week, which I'm pumped for. So that comes out on Friday, I think. So we will be the first ones to play it, obviously.
What was on Souffle? The Roulade?
No, that was a while ago. The last one was I told Dad about it. So you're telling me Dad's not telling people about it? Jeez.
You might have told me.
No, Wednesdays was the Tuscan white bean skillet, which was good.
Oh, I don't know that. Yeah, okay, I didn't hear about that.
It was our vegetarian, because viewers were asking for a vegetarian dish. So Auntie was like, we could do that. So she nailed it. It was good.
And Aunt Sue didn't reject that?
No. Yeah. That's what I said. I was like, Aunt Sue, I don't want to do this. She goes, we could do it. She looked me in the face. She said, Chris, we could do it.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Yeah.
Good to mix it up a little bit.
So, yeah. Other than that, social media, promo code, stream links down below. And hopefully I will see you guys on Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. And you'll see Mom whenever. So,
Whenever. Bye.